Hi everyone, Simon here with a spoiler-free review of Telling Lies. Telling Lies is an interactive FMV adventure detective game that's available for PC, mobile, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4, and it's a PS4 version you're watching. Telling Lies was created by Sam Barlow, who since he's become a indie game developer, has become quite fixated on this hidden artifact discovery video diary style of detective gameplay. First with Her Story and now with Telling Lies. And it works really well because it kind of calls to your inner deepest sense of trying to crack a code whilst uncovering a mystery and trying to A, validate whether what you thought was going on at the beginning is actually going on, and B, when you get it right, going, aha, I told you so. But the beauty and sometimes the curse of Telling Lies specifically is that because everything is keyword based, you find the story completely in a non-linear fashion. So you might actually stumble across some really key plot points early on and then kind of be backtracking from there to kind of go, well, how did we get there? As opposed to having the anticipation build up and then having that key moment happen. But how you discover it and how you are detective in all of it is entirely up to you. And so by design, it's quite interesting that you could stumble across something very key very early on and be like, oh, bugger. But under the whole premise of Telling Lies, you may have discovered the truth right at the very beginning and then not find it and then like have lies all the way through and then have to kind of unpick it, or go vice versa. And that's the beauty of it. You're following 4 characters primarily, and all of them are caught up in their own lies. Some of them are lying to each other, some of them are lying to themselves, some of them are lying about their current circumstances, some of them about their past, some of them about their future ambitions and what they want to be and where they want to go and who they want to be with. And it's your job to kind of unpick it all. And you do this by watching their video calls to each other and their video diaries that they make along the way. And you do this by kind of watching, and then you can kind of scrub back and forth. And if you find something that you think will be a key word or a vital phrase, or something just kind of feels like a weird telltale, like, so-and-so will remember that moment, you can highlight over it with an analog stick, and then you can click on that, and that becomes your next search term. Each search term can bring up to a maximum of 5 related videos, even though sometimes it might tell you that there's like 23 with the word liar or something like that related to it. And you can go down lots of different narrative rabbit holes that might not necessarily give you the end goal and the big like ticket items that you're going for, but it will provide a lot of context and background as to why the relationships in this game are so fractured and so taut and tense, even when they aren't necessarily being like it to each other. The acting on the whole is superb. The design of it all kind of flits between like Skype calls and video diaries. And the thing with the Skype calls specifically is that you can, but not always, initially get access to only one or both sides of the story. Now, obviously, when someone is doing a monologue back to someone, you've literally got a minute of someone kind of sitting there picking their fingers or reacting to it. I personally took a while before I started to fast forward these pauses because I was sitting there thinking, I wonder if specific like facial reactions or like twitches or something like that would be brought into the acting or so on and so forth. But actually what you're trying to do is almost work out through date and time stamps on the items that you bring up and things like that, actually what's like the other half of the conversation, what's playing back, and you might be looking for keywords to try and bring up that other half. So then you're mentally marrying both sides of the conversation together to try and work out what on earth was going on. I've made it out to be much more detective-y than what I personally found it, but the beauty is in the discovery. There's no specific time limit for you to be like getting everything done. You can just keep going until you get to the end, and then if you kind of give up, you can zip the amount of files that you've got up and then kind of get one of several different endings as you go along. And that depends on the type of content that you find, the time that you spend with them, and who you're most invested and interested in. Whether or not it's actually a satisfying conclusion, I think will be very much up to what you discover. But what I really did like was going back in and trying to be quite completionist and eventually find everything, which I did. And that provides a much more rounded picture so that you can kind of get everything back into a timeline and be like, that's what happened. So yeah, I really enjoy this style of gameplay. I can see some people getting very frustrated with it because it's so hands-off. And you are essentially, it is like Google search the detective game, but if you present a good narrative and it's done in an interesting way, as Telling Lies is, I think that's more than enough to hold my interest and keep me entertained as a non-linear narrative story. A written review will be over on higherplayinggames.com shortly. Until then, you guys take care and don't be telling lies yourself, you naughty bollocks. Bye for now. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a collection of media projects ran by me. If you like what you see and want to find out more, visit patreon.com/Higher Plane Network. Your support can make so much more possible, be that a like, a comment, a share, or a pledge. Thanks for watching.